Earlier this week, many people were very upset to find that there were some changes hidden in their versions of Watch Dogs for the PC. Now, when we first saw Watch Dogs at E3 2012, it was this great, beautiful game that we were all super excited for. But now that it's out and some PC players were playing it, they noticed a bit of a downgrade in terms of graphic quality. Some modders were able to find the files within the game that unleashed much better quality graphics, which led them to believe that Ubisoft had hidden them away for reasons. Perhaps they had been paid by Microsoft or Sony. We're not really clear on that, and it understandably caused quite a bit of outrage. Well, Ubisoft has responded to that now. The PC version does indeed contain some old unused render settings that were deactivated for a variety of reasons, including possible impacts on visual fidelity, stability, performance, and overall gameplay quality. Modders are usually creative and passionate players, and while we appreciate their enthusiasm, the mod in question, which uses those old settings, subjectively enhances the game's visual fidelity in certain situations, but also can have various negative impacts. Those could range from performance issues to difficulty in reading the environment in order to appreciate the gameplay, to potentially making the game less enjoyable or even unstable. Now, our question here is that a satisfying answer?
Not really.
No.
It's weird. The situation is weird. Also, I don't know a lot about the true inner workings of developing a game, but if you figured out that this thing isn't working, why do you leave it hidden in the game?
Where a very smart audience would be able to find it.
Right.
I'll answer that question and your question with the general attitude and size of Ubisoft these days. I'm a big fan of Ubisoft games.
I am too.
I think they have a great backlog, catalog, whatever you want. They make good games. But they have grown, I think, too large, and their deadlines are too short. They crank these games out too quickly, and they do that by using 4, sometimes 5 different studios, I think, worked on Watch Dogs, different elements of the game. So the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. They can't optimize the engine across all these different studios because they're all working on different parts of the game, and then they cobble them together at the last minute and say, oh, well, that didn't work together as well as we thought it might.
Right.
Well, some users did report that when they used the mod in question, they had issues with, with the quality and with the gameplay and the performance. But others said that it was fine, that the improved shaders and camera angles only added to their experience. So,
I mean, I get that for consoles. You don't want to sacrifice, gameplay for looks on a console.
Right.
But on a PC, there's just so much that individual PCs vary, and that you can, for the most part, adjust visually in your game. You could choose what settings to play it on, which shaders to use.
Well, the good and bad part
about consoles, that's a thing that should be included in the PC version.
That there's a set there's a set performance quality that they would have to cater to, or game makers would have to cater to. But on PC, it could be anything. It could be anywhere. And there were some people in the office, notably John Idarola, who's a PC gamer. He loves it, but he was like, Ubisoft hates PC gamers. Why would they do this? And there's an understandable amount of outrage, and it's not easy to jump to the conclusion that maybe, since it's not the PC market is so varied and different, that there isn't really someone there, pulling the strings and saying, I want this, I want that, make this, make that for me, exclusive, etc. So it's not totally ununderstandable that people would jump to that conclusion.
It's just even how they phrase it is so odd to me. When the mod in question subjectively enhances the game's visual fidelity, it's sort of saying, yeah, okay, you might think it's better, you can't prove that.
Well, you can look at it.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. It's a weird double talky explanation instead of.
I think Abstergo goes behind it.
I tend to believe more in screw-ups than sinister workings when it comes to big companies. I have no problem believing that they just screwed up and didn't realize that the files were still there, or didn't think anyone would find them. I don't know. Not
being caught or isn't really an excuse, though.
No, I don't think it is an excuse. I think this situation is weird, and it puts Ubisoft in yet another bad light, as if other things haven't.
After the representation issue.
Yeah, the representation issue with
Assassin's Creed Unity.
Yeah, just because women, they be hard to program.
I know. I mean, we move really weird.
Yes.
Like when I turn into a wisp of gaseous air and like zoom around and oh no wait, I move mostly like a man.
Yeah.
Unless like.
Especially like the acrobatic men who inhabit that game.
Yeah, but that's a different issue. But it is interesting that we're seeing like typically Ubisoft is seen in a positive light, and then we see these two kind of huge controversies at the same time.
Take your time with games.
Yeah.
We'll wait. It's not a problem.
Let us know what you think below about the controversy reverting Watch Dogs' degraded PC graphics, and what do you really think happened behind the scenes there? Let us know what you think below in the comments. Please be sure to subscribe, and please check out our Facebook page.